Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review or brewery showcase really with me Peter the master of hoppets checking out a Dutch brewery called Gulpener. It's a large brewery, not apparently as far as I can gather not large enough to be macro, at least from what I've been told by subscribers, some of you guys from the Netherlands, but it's one of the biggest independently owned breweries in the Netherlands, Gulpener. But a lot of Dutch people really dig their beers and prefer them over something like Kolsch or Heineken if we're talking lagers. And we've got a set of 3 of their lagers. And I've had a couple of their beers before. They're Korenwolf, the wit beer, and the Chateau Gulpener, which I had in the Amsterdam tour video at Arendtnest. And I've also had a couple bottles of the Neubourg because we bought some to bring home at a supermarket along with these that I brought some of them from parties and for parties and whatnot. And for some reason I didn't enjoy it as much as I did on draft in Amsterdam. But we're giving them another go. They're kind of more slightly industrialized kind of beers, but they're not like mass produced. Well, they're produced on huge scales, but I think they are. It sounds like it's similar to a brewery like Tisted Bryghus or Hancock or something like that here in Denmark, which is fairly big produced beer, but independently owned and decent. Some of them have some really nice classic beers. For example, Høgerbejer by Hancock or Tisted Limfjordsporter, for example, from Tisted Bryghus. But we're checking these out. So we're checking out their Pilsner, their Ur-Pilsner, and their Chateau Neiborg Pilsner, which is like the premium of all their Pilsners. So 3 different ones. I actually thought initially maybe that these 2 would be the same, just that this is the organic version because this is an organic beer. But turns out that they're different. So everything on here is in Dutch, so I can't understand a thing. But I tried to translate a bit of it online, and they just talk a little bit about flavor and history and whatnot. It's 5%. It's got 2 in bitter, scores in bitter, 0 caramel, sourness 1, sweetness 1, fruitiness 1, and powerfulness, I think it says. Spice 1. So yeah, that's it, 5%. And this was, so it's not exactly a fresh bottle. It was from January this year. But hey, let's give it a whirl. So pour is a golden yellow color. It looks like a Pilsner. There's a little bit of haze, but I think that's chill haze. The head that poured out was white-ish. Let's check out the aroma on the Pilsner. Yeah, so it smells pretty industrial actually. It smells ho-hum, to be honest. It's not terrible smelling, but you can also smell that it's not really fresh. It has a sweet grainy profile and a touch of grassy hops, but you totally smell that this is a beer that's been sitting on a shelf for a while because there is a little bit of an oxidative papery note. And it might even be slightly vegetal. It actually, I'm not too keen on that. Well, let's take it out. Cheers. Flavor profile is definitely better, but it really tastes industrial. It tastes like, yeah, if you drink like Ur-Pilsner or something like that, some more of the like core range, whatever brands from some of these bigger Danish breweries, it's similar to something like that. It's definitely better than something like a Heineken. There's a more robust malt character and a little bit more hoppiness, but it's mild on the hops. It's peppery, slightly spicy, slightly woody. There is a touch of like sweet, doughy breadiness, maybe even like a lightly toasted breadiness, and then there's a touch of that oxidized papery note because it's just been standing for a while. Fresh beer is always better. But yeah, let's try and move on then to the Ur-Pilsner, which is the organic one. So this one is, I think it's also 5%. Let's see, where was that? Yeah, 5%. So this has got a little higher score in fruitiness and spiciness than the regular Pilsner. But otherwise, the scores are pretty much the same, but it also has a touch of caramel, so they probably put in a little bit of a light caramel malt in this. So yeah, this is also from January, so both of these are the same age. So I think whoa, what a coincidence. Almost bottled the same day, the 10th of January and the 6th of January. But let's check this one out. So yeah, it's slightly darker in color. It's got like a slight copper hue. You can probably see that on camera. And a white head as well. Let's check out the Ur-Pilsner. Yeah, it smells better for sure. There is less oxidation on this one. Maybe it's just been stored cold or something. I don't know. There's not the same level of paperiness Yeah, when you jump back, you totally smell it on this one. It just smells more clean. This one's also clean though, but it has the same like sweeter malt profile. It's a little bit more robust in its maltiness. Could be maybe a touch of Munich malt or something. It smells quite alright. Right, definitely better than the first one. And similar hop character: peppery, grassy, spicy, koita, herby. Let's try it. Yeah, definitely better. Not half bad macro. This is. It drinks it's really similar to like Hancock beers, Hancock lagers, or Tista lagers. Just not as good, but that's maybe also because when I have them, usually they're really fresh. I mean, if you go to a bar locally and you order Hancock Pilsner, you always get it where it's like usually around 4 weeks old, because they serve it really fresh, because they get it directly from the brewery and they buy small amounts often. It's just a couple cases and then they get it fresh all the time. It's also a big emphasis for the brewery. This was in a Dutch supermarket chain that I bought it. But yeah, it's more peppery and spicy for sure and hop forward. And slightly floral. There's a slightly citric fruitiness to it as well, which is nice. And yeah, that more robust malt character is more slick in the mouth. Yeah, it's oddly much better than the regular one, I think. Like, this is just nothing special at all. But yeah, this is it's just got more character. Decent Big Brewed Pils. So let's move on to the final one. This is the one that most people are pretty stoked on, or at least people think is just a great, larger produced beer. This is Chateau Neiborg. Really cool bottle. Look at that. Almost reminds me a little bit of Carlsberg's Kronenbourg Blanc because of the blue bottle. It's a little bit stronger. It also says superior craft lager, so they call themselves craft brewers. I'm guessing they produce a small enough amount to be craft. 5.5%. And yeah, so this is like the premium of all their pilsners. And they do a lot of different beers. A lot of Belgian stuff. There's a few wheat beers. They've done a few collaborations and things like that. But yeah, let's check this one out. So it's a very similar color actually to the organic one. I don't know if you just noticed that, but swirling up ahead on this is much easier than the other two. Like there, a little bit comes forth. Not too much on the pills. Here, it's like almost instantaneously you see a better head. But this is also much fresher. This was bottled in July. And I'm guessing I was just lucky. I didn't look at dates actually, I think, when I bought these. But yeah, it's just a whole lot fresher. So, but similar color to the organic Pilsner, I think. Also clear. Let's check out the aroma on Chateau Neiborg. So it smells better, that's for sure. But the only difference is this bottle lets in light. I think because I smell skunkiness instantly. It has that light struck aroma. It has the aroma that people associate with Heineken. And it's a little bit, a shame, but it smells like skunky. And I think a lot of people associate that flavor profile with macro lagers, and a lot of people like it. It's nostalgic for a lot of people, but it is an off flavor you don't want in your beer. It's it's that like farty, skunky hop aroma, but it smells like it's definitely more intensely hoppy. There's almost a little bit of a dankness, like a subtle weedy dankness, like hash or something interesting, like in IPAs. Slightly floral, slightly soapy. It's definitely the most intense hop aroma on all the beers. And this one doesn't have like a spectrum of flavors on the bottleneck, because there's like next to no info, because it's all on this little neck here. But although it's lightly skunked, it still smells more intense and a bit more interesting than the others. But let's try it. Cheers. Yeah, it's definitely the one I like the most. The one with most flavor. I think the skunkiness is definitely more in the aroma. I like it a whole lot more on draft, fresh down in Amsterdam. A whole lot more. I think I was like thinking about giving that a straight 90 or an 89 or something. Like, represented in the glass, it's not the same experience from the bottle. I definitely recommend drinking this on tap if you're in Holland. If you want to drink some lager, instead of drinking fucking Grolsch or Amstel or Heineken, of course. This is a much better alternative. Much more peppery, much more grassy, zesty, almost lightly soapy to some extent. Spicy hop characters. Like, the hop character in all of them are similar, but this one just has much more aromatics. which is really nice. It's also drier, it's more bitter. There's not as pronounced a malt flavor. It's definitely more hoppy. I think it's somewhere in between the two. But it's for sure the one I enjoy most. So I think, so having it on draft, I liked it a lot, and it was close to 90. As it is in the bottle, it's a pretty well-made industrial Pilsner. Do you know what? It's not too far off from drinking something like a skunked version of Högerbayer. Högerbayer is just better, I think, but it's also because we get it fresher. So I can totally see connotation to these brewers. We have in Denmark of these sizes, and it's actually pretty good beer. I mean, I'd drink this if I was out for sure, and I'd love to drink it dead fresh. And again, probably around close to a 90 on draft, but in the bottle, I'm gonna jump it down to an 85, just because of the skunkiness, and it's not as vibrant as the draft version. It was much better, but it's still a quite decent, largely produced lager. I think it's one of the largest independent breweries in the Netherlands. I think it was something like that. People told me. But yeah, my favorite. Second favorite, for sure, the Ur-Pilsner. Funny, jumping back, it seems even weaker in hop aromatics and flavor just because you had this. It's not half bad. I mean, straight 80, maybe 82. It's nice. This one, I'm not a big fan of. It's just because it's light struck. Or it's oxidized. That sherry papery thing is not suited in these kind of beers. It's a shame, but I'm sure if this was dead fresh, it'd be pretty decent. I think dead fresh, it would probably be around this in terms of grade. But as it is right now, maybe a 75 or something like that. I mean, it's still a drinkable beer. It's not a failed beer, really, because there's still some of the flavors you want. It's not like totally off. It's just a little bit of age showing its signs, but it's decent. But the king for sure is Chateau Gulpener. That's definitely the best of the bunch. So if you just want to check out one, check out this one. So yeah, fun to check out some Dutch, I guess classics. It'd be fun to hear what you guys think, because it's something we never see in Denmark. We only see more modern Dutch craft beer, and of course Heineken and Kolsch. Not Amstel, actually, interestingly enough. But yeah, if you guys had either of these, let me know what you thought of them. As always, remember to comment, subscribe, check out the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I want to say cheers in my favorite, Chateau Gulpener. And see you guys in another brewery showcase or beer review.